First, I want to thank Greg for inviting us to be here. I greatly appreciate it. I also thank everybody for coming and taking in the presentation. We'll be at the booth after. I also want to say that I'm honored to be here on Remembrance Day and thank everybody for making the ultimate sacrifice that allows us to take on these type of opportunities here. I was trying to think of the best way to introduce Three Aces and Golden Predator. We were here last year. I was very, very fortunate to be invited. And our world has changed at Three Aces in that time. If you're not familiar with the project, it's a high-grade gold project in the southeast Yukon, and it really is a district scale. And I had a great question from a shareholder today, why do you call it a district scale? So if I can leave you with nothing else today, it would be that sense of size and scale. But in the past year, we've built 27 kilometers of roads, we've built a bridge, we've built a processing plant, we've processed 800 ounces of gold through our bulk sample, we've drilled over 25,000 meters. It's been a phenomenal amount of work. We've taken 14,000 soil samples. It really has been a unique experience for everybody up there, and all of that sounds like we've spent a lot of money. So maybe not what you want to hear, but we still have money in the bank, so we're quite happy about that. So what does all that work lead us to? On the front here, you see a member of our RCMP with our gold bar. We were in Toronto in September. We took the gold bar to, along with the Premier of the Yukon, to an investment forum, and this is one of the 2 bars we poured from our bulk sampling plant. Typical disclaimer, please watch and listen and make your own decisions. So, Three Aces, Southeast Yukon, very good technical team, strong management. My background is in social licensing and working with the First Nations and the government. 25 years. I'd like to think that a lot of our progress has been to advancing that work through those relationships. We have a very strong relationship with both First Nations in the area. Presently now about $6 million in the bank. We run about a $60 million market cap. My husband is the chair of the board. We are the largest shareholder. Eric Sprott, McEwen Mining, and Power One come in behind us. Over 50% of our stock is held by just a few hands. There's mostly the Toronto funds. I don't like our stock chart. Nobody does. But we did a couple of financings last year. We peaked at about $2. It's pulled back since then, and we're running about 70 cents right now, and about 126 million shares issued and outstanding. As I mentioned with the First Nations, very solid relationship. We employed about 60 Yukoners seasonally this year. We have a benefits agreement on our Brewery Creek project, which is not our focus, and we have a MOU with the Kaska Nation, and we ensure that there's a lot of local benefits. When I talked about the project earlier, and I have to watch the clock, I mentioned that we built a bridge. That's an example of the excellent relationship that we have, and we permitted and constructed, and we're using that bridge over the Highland River, in 4 months' time. I'm not going to follow the slides too closely, but I'm going to focus a lot on the property map. So on the previous slide, you see we're in the southeast Yukon. The federal and Yukon government announced $360 million in infrastructure enhancement. $110 million will be on the road that goes through our property. And you can see it intersecting the property and following it to the north. That road currently goes to the former tungsten mine that's up the road. If you see on the property, we focus in the central core area where we do most of our drilling. This map is a result of the Geological Survey, and they spent 2 years out in our area and realized that they have not mapped very much since the 60s. We took their map and we overlaid it with our soil sampling, which is how we find our high-grade drill targets. And we found that for simple sake, the green rock on the map, if you overlay our soils, that's where we're getting all of our high-grade results. So we decided this summer to stop and pull back a bit on the drilling. We continued to drill, but we did 10,000 soils, and we soil sampled all of that, what you see as the green host rock. This is why we say this is a district scale opportunity. This trend is 35 kilometers. We have the same rock type, we have the same anomalies, and it extends for the whole property. We originally had 250 square kilometers. When we saw what was going on with the host rock, we expanded and picked up 2 properties to the north. So we're now at 357 square kilometers. We have focused all of our drilling in the central core area, which you see identified in the southern part of the property. This is just the soils that we did. We have about 15% back, and it has expanded the central core area from 11 to 13 square kilometers. 13 square kilometers is already a large enough project. We would have to manage our money extremely carefully to go out of that area, and when you're finding gold, why stop and go look for other gold? So we focus our drilling in that area. This is a picture of the central core. You see we divide it into 4 suits of the deck, and you see where the property extends to the north. Did a lot of our drilling in the Spade zone until this summer, and we focused in on what is a very near surface target. After that, we went up to the Hearts and Clubs, and the latest news result shows something that we are following, which is what we call the Hearts Clubs corridor. I'm going to stop on the slides now and just explain that with an orogenic system, it's very deep-seated, and we have a series of flat-lying shears that cut through the property, and they're stacked. So when we did our drilling in the Hearts and Clubs, we extended the drilling and show a, I'm going to just go to it, sorry. This is the vertical extent, our roads, and I'm running out of time. So this is what I'd like you to focus on, and really where we're going to focus on next year. We have just finished all of our drilling in this area. We have 50 holes coming back. The stacked shears run about 10 meters wide, and they're about 200 meters stacked. We found a second structure that's identified on here. So this is one of the 2 types of mineralizations we see. The other that we see is a series of high-grade veins that come off in between the shears from the pressure. And that is what you'll see at the Spade zone, where you're getting 30 to 50 grams per ton in the drilling results. It can go up to 3 digits, but it's this area where we're going to build a lot of ounces, and we'll be seeing that drilling come out over the next little while with those results, and where we will start again. Next year, we'll also move into a bulk sample program. We'll do a series of drilling, and we'll look at potentially going up to the northern part of the property. We'll be at the booth after if you want to come by with Greg. Really appreciate it, and thank you very much for your time.